Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome. I'm the Pole Father, and it only takes one. So, I don't normally do videos like this, but I thought it was probably the only time and maybe a great time to do it because I got a shout out on someone's channel. For those of you who don't know or have never heard of the channel, I recommend following a podcast called Slabbed Podcast. Check them out. They post great content. They keep tabs with what's going on in the market every day, talk about what's new, what's trending, what could be trending. Great channel to watch. Great guys. Hosted by the Green Shiz and hosted by Professor Oak himself. Um, Today in their video, they had the vice president of CGC hosted as their first I don't say visitor, first the first person hosted on their channel, Matt Quinn. For those who don't know who Matt Quinn is the vice president of CGC. He's been there for quite some time. He has really made an impact on CGC and helped them grow at actually a very impressive rate. I really believe he's brought a lot of success to CGC. So I'm gonna roll in this video. He gave me, or I shouldn't say they, but had a little shout out on the channel, and I thought it was appropriate just to kind of play it. So let's jump into it here. So if I point this right, it's right over there, and let's roll the video.
First ed base set. We've graded a perfect before. I'm not sure if we graded a perfect hollow though. So I know we just graded a pristine 10 first ed Charizard, which was incredible, and we just recently graded a shadowless pristine 10 Charizard. We graded.
So that Charlotte's pristine Charizard, the pristine 10 right now is at auction PWCC, and I want to say at this second it's at $24,000. That's pretty impressive for some shiny cardboard. The auction has not ended yet, so it could go for higher, but I just know currently that's where it stands.
Perfect 10. Based on the Charizard. So, I think there might be a perfect 10 hollow. I'm not positive. Don't quote me, but
yeah. So I asked this because I know the answer. There's a perfect 10 Drowsy that I bought. It's the only one of like almost 30,000 cards graded. It was like bought it because it's literally the only one. I see the value in conditional rarity for sure.
That's actually something that's kind of becoming a lot more popular right now is perfect and black label 10s. It's a way, like it's saying, conditional rarity, less of the population. It's extremely popular right now. It's funny because I remember when that card sold, I was like, who the heck bought this perfect 10 Drowsy? He was the green shiz. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. But anyways, sick card.
oh, that's a big part. Yeah. I mean, you look at any other collectible, like top stuff is the biggest thing to look for. Especially from a popular set like they said first. I mean, having a perfect card from that set, like you said, how many did we grade? 30,000, something like that. So that shows that tells you everything. Right there.
Yep. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome for sure. So it's yeah, I'm always looking for some of those perfect cards. It's they tickle my fancy for sure, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, our friend Paul Father, he's another local. He's in the Tampa Bay area. He graded the first, I think it was the Fossil Dragonite Hollow, right, Josh? He has that in the Big Ten, and
That was a reaction from Matt Quinn.
yeah, he's very proud of that. That's a great.
Indeed, I am very proud of that card.
Really big one. So it's exciting, the idea of getting that perfect, and even the first teams and perfect. So either one.
I am extremely proud to actually have that card in my collection. And this is where I kind of roll the card back on over. Let's jump back right here. So there you have it. The perfect 10 Dragonite. 10 centering, 10 surface, 10 corners, 10 edges. I pulled this card myself. I think that's what makes it even more special. I love this card. I love it in this slab. I want to say it's my favorite card in my collection. Again, what makes it even more special is I pulled this card myself, and I can't complain here. Let's see if we can pull it out of the. Maybe we can get just a better look at it. So, clean. Love it. Favorite card in my collection. Another one of my CGC one of my other favorite cards in my CGC collections is Tengengar First Edition, pristine though. Again, I actually pulled this card too myself, and I think that's what makes it more special. There's one thing that you can buy these cards and just kind of spend the money just to have, but when you pull it yourself, it even makes it even more special, harder, even harder to let go. So two of my most favorite CGC cards right here. But jumping into things, I just want to kind of briefly mention something about CGC. Being in Florida, it's a huge option for me to grade with them. Just close. The grading fees are, much cheaper. But one thing I want to stress enough is, a lot of people PSA versus CGC. Everyone's different, but just, one thing I want to highlight and say that CGC does a absolute fantastic job on is their customer service. Their customer service is outstanding. And not just even in grading cards. I'm talking as a whole. You line them up with any other company out there. I'm talking like Chick-fil-A standards of how great their customer service is. It's fantastic. And just like I want to just give me one example, but I have it used to be second, now the third highest set registry for first edition base set shadowless. And when I graded the entire common set with them, this card, the double colorless energy, showed up as the same label as the gust of wind, and I noticed it was a mistake. So what I did was I contacted CGC and I said, hey, there's a mislabel. I did it online, I filled it out, and it was a quick, simple process, and it was free. Just had to ship the card there. They shipped it back. Excuse me. Anyways, they corrected the problem. The grade remained the same on this card that graded. And I noticed when I went to go update my registry that this card, still labeled as Gust of Wind, or I'm sorry, it was the barcode. The barcode was still replacing Gust of Wind. And I called CGC. They answered immediately. They sent me someone in a division that deals with customer service. On the phone, they corrected the problem within 5 minutes. Not only that, they sent me a follow-up email just saying how's everything with customer service. Was the problem resolved? So later that night, I checked to make sure it was still working okay, and there was still a slight problem. Anyways, I emailed back. It was quick, short, and sweet to the point, and it was fixed the next day in the morning. That is one thing I can't stress enough. You can't buy good customer service anymore, and especially it's something that's dying today. Is customer service, and if you're able to provide such pristine, perfect customer service, that takes a company light years ahead of other people. Now, I'm not saying, they have better customer service than other green card companies. All I'm saying is good customer service takes you a long way. And when there's a problem, you present it to them, they correct it right away. That wins you over. That wins people over. And that's just one thing I want to really recognize CGC with is their customer service is fantastic. And I really think those fundamentals were built through now Vice President Macwin. I think he's done a fantastic job there. I remember grading with CGC the second they started grading cards, and when there was problems that he came forward, and a lot of people were saying CGC this, CGC that. He was the kind of guy to say, "Hey, look, let's talk about it." And a lot of people hide behind the monitor and just they, like CGC did this or PSA did that, but then all of a sudden someone will sit down with you and say, hey, well, what's going on? Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do better. Let's see. And a lot of people run away or get scared. And this guy is willing to sit down and say, hey, like, what's going on? Is there a reason why you think this card got this, or is there a reason why we're doing that? And he's not afraid to sit down and talk with you. And that's huge. That's huge today. A lot of people, they hide behind the computer and type email, but then you give them a call or you talk to them face to face and they pull back. So everyone's today wants to communicate through the computer. Nah, he's a human being like us, and when there's a problem, he wants to address it. Hey, the guy's done a fantastic job, CGC. My hat tips off to you. I'm not being biased. I'm not saying CGC is better than PSA. I'm not saying PSA is better than CGC. I collect both. I collect. So all I'm saying is I think CGC is doing one hell of a job on discussing with us on where they're going, where they're at, and what they're doing with the company. I think that's everything. For someone at his level, I'm a vice president. He doesn't have to sit down with with us and talk about what they're doing to improve, what they're working on, what they're planning on implementing. He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't do it whatsoever. I'm sure he's a busy man, and for him to take the time and sit down with us, people that are grading cards nonstop through all these companies, that goes a long way. It makes me want to keep grading with CGC. Can't complain. Being involved in the hospitality industry in Florida and seeing how he commands his troops is impressive. Customer service is dying. It's very, very respected and very impressive for someone to make sure things are operating at a high standard. Tip my hat to him. So, not going to beat around the bush. Mr. Matt Quinn, I'm local to the Florida area. If you want to invite me in so you can hold the perfect Dragonite, I'm the Pole Father. And you know what I'm about to say. Let's get a good view there. It only takes one.